Hey, my name is Mel O'Del. I'm a Newcastle-based artist who makes paper illustrations. This video is going to be short today and we're not going to make a very detailed artwork, but I'm mainly just going to share with you some tips and tricks I use in my practice. So starting off with materials, you'll just need some paper. I use thicker cardstock, but if you have thin paper around, that's okay. Even if you don't have coloured paper, but you have white paper, you can just colour it in and use that for this. Yeah, so next off, I recommend scissors. Any scissors is fine. If you have a scalpel, that can work as well. And you also need a glue stick. Yeah, so let's jump into it. To start the process, I like to pick a picture that I'd like to recreate. And then I usually jump into paper cutting straight away. A good way to start is to actually draw the outlines and focus on what's really important to make this image a recreation. So I've done this off camera, but you can see I've just sketched the outlines. So obviously us two are very important. You can see the basic shapes. You can also see what's in the foreground, so us two, and then what's in the background. So I need to do the mountains, some trees, rocks, and the ocean and sand. The next step is to start paper cutting. So my biggest tip for this is work your way from the back to the front. So you can just lay things out. You don't actually have to glue it straight away, but think, what color do you want the sky? So I've chosen this blue. And then I've actually chosen for the mountains to be blue as well. You never have to stick to the colours that are actually in the photo unless you want to. I like my works to be a bit more colourful, so I've gone for a different palette. So here are the mountains, and then I've got the sand here, and then I've put in the ocean. Next up, I'll put in this smaller mountain with all the trees and the rocks. Again, you can go as detailed as you want, or you can just stay with blocky shapes. So here's my background. I'm actually keeping it very simple. I'm pretty happy with it. You can still see it's a recreation of the photograph I've chosen, even though it's very minimal. So there's still the mountains, there's still rocks, there's still sand, and there's a bit of reflection. Next off, I'll move to the people. So I've already cut this off screen, but my biggest tip when paper cutting people is you need to just focus on the striking features, or maybe the accessories or the clothing that they're wearing, and just keep it bold and simple. So as you can see, there's not actually many cuts that went into the process. The way I approached this was I did the jacket first, then I cut the hole here, put the face in here, thought about the features. Okay, nose, eyebrows, cheeks, lips, sunnies, that's it, no more added details. The zip line, and then the peace sign, and that was it. So then I would just place it here and then move on to the next person. So next off, I'm just going to show you the process of actually paper cutting a person. So I'm going to do that with my friend here. I'll just start with her underjacket. So as you can see, I don't tend to draw things before I do them, but I still recommend people do that just so they can get their head around it. And also because when you're starting off, it can be a bit tricky. And also remember, just go for the bold shape. We're not worrying about detail here. And you also don't have to glue things down straight away, but I tend to be in a habit to do that. And now we're up to the face. So I've got this paper here. I normally start with the neck and then work up from there. So the neck is always pretty simple. Just cut a rectangle and then cut some curves into it. And I find necks are always pretty forgiving. Then we're up to the head. So I need a piece bigger than that. With this, it's always good to just look at the shape of someone's head first and then work from there. So you can draw it or you can just jump straight into it. So it's good to start off with a bigger oval than the head actually would be, and then work inwards from there. So we've got that, and then it's good to work. So you've got the head, next up do the hair. Make sure you don't glue the head onto the neck yet. Then place the head here. Look at the length of the hair and then hold it down and then cut around it for how much you need. And then you just make the ends more fun. This is where you can personalize things a bit, just by looking at the small details and accentuating them. Next up, we'll do the nose. So it's always good to start off with the nose on the face. So look about, so with Ash's fringe, come down from the middle. Here would be the lips, and then about in the middle would be the nose. And it's always good to just look at what does the nose actually look like and try and replicate that a bit. And for mouths, I never really do teeth, just because I don't feel like it translates well always in paper cut, so I normally just do a big mouth like this. And the next up I would then do the cheeks. So you've got the placement of your nose, it's pretty perfect, as with the lips, and then you can just do the cheeks here. That's kind of my signature, just to make all my paper people look very happy. You can see I'm just using scrap paper, and with the circle I like to just turn it with your other hand. So I'm left-handed, so I'm turning it with my right hand. Just remember, things don't have to be perfect in paper cutting. So now we just need the glasses. As you can see, these ones are quite round, so we'll try and emulate that. Another thing with the glasses, if you wanted to spend more time on the paper people, I would suggest, so the frames are actually about a bit of a goldish colour. I would do this twice, so cut out a piece of yellow paper and cut the glasses, and then just cut out circles for the actual lenses. It's also worth noting paper cutting can be very fiddly and taxing on your wrists, so you don't have to rush through things. You can also take breaks. Cool. And there we have another paper cut person. So then it comes time to gluing it down. it, a very simple paper cut. Once you've finished this stage, you could leave it here, or you could go back in and look at the little details. So fingernails, buttons, creases, actually put in the trees, indents in the sand, and yeah, but there we have it. Thanks for watching.